Hello, everybody, and welcome to the Zombies Love Bacon podcast. This is episode 27, season 2. I am Aladi, or better known as Zombies Love Bacon, and I am joined today by Shelby.
Hello, it's me. I'm back.
Shelby is back, like she left or something.
Always here.
Always here, exactly.
Permanent fixture.
Permanent fixture. But yes, hello, welcome everybody to this week's podcast. We didn't stand in lines for hours this week. It kind of, honestly, it seems like a lifetime ago that happened, but apparently that was last weekend.
It was last weekend, and this weekend is a long weekend for us because the Queen died and there's a sports ball match on.
Yeah,
so
let me just before we go any further, it's a long weekend in Australia, so let's just be clear. But not all states are the same, and territories and whatever. Here in Victoria or Melbourne, where we are, we get a day off on the Friday, which is so that we can go to a sports ball parade the day before our Australian rules football grand final.
Yeah.
So it's not even the day of, it's the day before. And like if you worked weekends, that means you don't get public holiday rate on the day of the game that you'd probably want to watch. You get it the day before so you can go see the parade. Then, to confuse things further this year, because the Queen passed away, we get a day of mourning, which just happened to land on a Thursday, which makes it a 4-day weekend for most... for Victoria at least, because we a day to mourn the Queen's death, and then a day for the sports ball, and then our weekend. In other states, they got the Thursday off, then had to return to work on the Friday. So they got the Thursday off to mourn the Queen's death, go back to work on the Friday, but they get Monday off because it's the Queen's birthday.
I'd rather do it though.
So they spend their Thursday mourning her death and their Mondays celebrating her birth.
Confusing, yeah, and it's one of those things. If you weren't aware, the Queen's birthday, public holiday around the world, doesn't land on her actual birthday. Never has, and they're basically going to rename
each state has
those.
A different one.
Yeah, and they're going to rename those to the King's birthday, but they're not going to change the date. So miraculously, they share a birthday. It's crazy, wild,
crazy. So so we're like a 3-day working week, and then this is our 4th day off. I think for me. And look, partially self-inflicted, partially not. I did a subathon on Thursday.
Yeah.
Which went for nearly 12 hours from 4 hours.
It was big. So you had a lot of people.
It's a lot of people. I was kind of like, I want to have a big stream because I want to play a lot of games. I don't want to just sort of, play like a normal day's worth of stream. So I don't want to go for like 6 hours or 8 hours or something like that because that's fairly normal for me, let's be honest. So, but then when I set it all up, I'm like, this makes sense. But also, if it only 5 minutes a sub, it's probably not going to be that long. I kind of want to go for 12, 15, 20 hours or something like that. Make a big deal of it. Anyway, I went with the logical choice, which is 5 minutes per sub. And I managed to get quite a few subs and unlock quite a few things. And some other shit happened. We can talk about that in a sec. But so I went for 12 hours. Which was fine. I think I wrapped up at 2 or 3 a.m. or something like that.
It was pretty solid. It was a good chill weekend, and that was the
yeah. Well, what I was going to say is, and then yesterday, Saturday, I started playing Slime Rancher 2, and then played for 12 hours. That was 10 hours and something.
Nobody had to pay you to do that.
And no one paid me to do that, so I kind of just shot myself in the foot. I'm like, yeah, you got to pay me to make this big ass stream. Oh, by the way, or just release Slime Rancher 2, and then I'll play.
Let's be honest though, everyone was paying you to eat disgusting jelly beans.
Well, this is it. For those who don't know what a BEANBOOZLED is, basically it's a jelly beans in which if they're both the same color, so 2 green jelly beans, but it'll either be booger or pear. So obviously one's good, one's not. It's like I don't know if you ever went to, and I don't recommend if it still exists or not, but there used to be that 50/50 site. So it's it'll be super hot female or car crash victim, and then you click the link and it's going to be one or the other, and it's a whole Reddit thing where
that's wild. I didn't know that was a thing.
It was it was I forget what it's called. I think it was 50/50 or something like that. We used to play it in art class a lot. I
like how you basically equated a booger flavored jelly bean to a car crash victim.
The thing is, there's a few things to unpack about these stupid fucking BEANBOOZLED. First of all, how do they know? Did someone sit there and taste boogers? Or there's one at Stinky Sock. There was fucking
dirty dishwater,
fucking sour milk. I mean, sour milk, I guess that's fine, but So who tested it? B, why'd they make it into a flavor? And C, why did they get it so fucking close? Like,
and D, what's their salary? I want to know what they get paid to taste test them.
God, I mean, it's like, it was rank. Like, it's fine. Like, when you have one, you go, oh, that's disgusting. Have a chase or whatever, a couple or 3 or 4, whatever. But when you take 70 jelly beans over the space of like 4 or 5 hours, it starts to back up. Like, your breath smells like fucking churned dishwasher milk. You can smell it in your nose. It's in your dribble. It's in my beard. Like, my hands were just getting sticky. I couldn't wash it off. It just rank. It was foul. And like, it's meant to be like 50-50, but it was like 80% just fucking disgusting. But it like, I was gagging, and I don't gag very easily, but I was like, oh, I can't fucking do it. And I was like, it's just dizzy from just fucking not being able to, like, you know, when you get like car sick and then you just feel like, you know, it's just like it's just like you got an upset stomach essentially to begin with.
Yeah.
But then all the other senses start to fucking fade because that's all you can think about. My stomach was going, what are you doing? This is disgusting. And then like my throat and my mouth, and oh man, I was just fucking dizzy. I was out of it. I was completely out of it by the end of it. And well, like I said, I could have streamed like 20-something hours easy. No worries. With BEANBOOZLED though, no. And I just want to be clear. The plan was, if you resub, I'll have a bean, because like if you resub, that's everyone gets one. So every person that drops by, they can get one bean. And then I was like, if you gift a sub, I will then treat the cat, because I don't care if I feed the cat 60 cat treats in a night. Not a problem. We got to the exact moment where people started gifting subs, and the cat had literally just settled down and gone to fucking bed and left me alone. I'm like, I'm not waking that cat up. It's just going to be a nightmare. So I created a new nightmare for myself.
You did, and it worked. You achieved 72 subs.
Like the last time I did that, I did it with Sriracha, where we went with like, take a shot or something gross, or like I had all these different things, and then everyone just like, nah, just have Sriracha every time. And then I just basically ended up drinking half a bottle of Sriracha.
So what was worse, the beans or Sriracha?
Well, the Sriracha, like, you just feel like you're on fire after a while. Like, you can't get rid of the taste. You can't get rid of the feeling. Like, your entire body is just sort of oozing Sriracha smell when you just keep inhaling it over a period of time. And like the bean thing, I just had a heap of solid food and a heap of liquids, and I just flushed my system of that disgusting thing and scrubbed my teeth.
Tried to give
7
you food.
times.
Yeah, I was trying to supply with food. I gave you
spray. Fucking got a wire brush. With the Sriracha, it took me like 3 days to come down from it. Like, I had to take time off work. So
okay,
my list of like shit. Like, the joke is I'm weak as piss and I hate hot food. So you take Sriracha, you're gonna destroy a man, right? So it's like Sriracha was number 1. Never doing that again. And BEANBOOZLED now, I'm never doing that again. Like, I just felt so sick afterwards. Like, I recovered, no problems. Like, I'd rather do heavy drinking than have beans. I'd rather pass out, blackout drunk than have fucking BEANBOOZLED again. But what I was going to say is that, like, the thing that's always been off the table, I'm not going to do it, is things like chilies or like the hot chip. Like, any of those sort of challenges, I'm not doing it. I will die. I'm a pussy. That's
valid.
I'm not doing it. Like, if they came up to me and they said, I'm going to give you... Actually, no, that's not true. I was going to say, if they came up to me and they're like, yo, man, if I give you $1,000 to charity, I'll do it for $1,000.
Yeah, I see people doing the one chip challenge. The one chip challenge at the moment is like a singular hot chip, and they like dye it purple or something as well.
Yeah, there's a couple out there. There's a lot out there.
Yeah.
You can buy them from like novelty shops and stuff like that.
Yeah. I saw videos of people doing it, and they were like eating this chip, but then they were like puking and it was purple, and it was...
I would do the Homer Simpson trick. Have you seen the Chili Fest trick where Homer eats the world's hottest chili?
He uses the candle.
Candle wax, yeah. It coats his mouth in wax. You can get mouth-numbing stuff. Because I saw it, I think it was a Hot Ones thing where they use it, but you're not meant to use it that way. Like, it's like, basically it's like a local anesthetic.
It's for blowjobs.
What?
That's what people use that stuff for.
What?
Have you never heard that?
No.
Throat numbing spray so you don't gag?
No.
I know someone who uses it. I know someone who uses it regularly. That's what they use the throat numbing stuff for, because they have a really bad gag reflex.
How much do they like blowjobs?
Regularly. No.
but how much do they like it? They're like, yeah, man, I can't stop gagging, but damn, I love this. I'm gonna.
Does anybody really like? Does anybody who's giving really like it that much, though? To be honest, like,
then why are they doing the throat numbing spray?
Because they like the person who they're giving a blowjob to.
They don't really like them that much if they can't go without,
I don't know.
Fucking needing to numb their face. Oh my god. Anyway, thanks Shelby for derailing.
If you want to do like a hot chip challenge and you're like, man, I should numb my throat spray, go to a sex store. 100%.
I didn't know this is the thing. I'm learning so much and I have questions.
You're welcome.
Anyway, what I was going to say is there was a doctor that was like breaking down the hot ones thing. They're like, yo, if your brain's telling you this thing is too hot, it's probably too hot for a reason. Maybe don't try and hide the pain by masking it with an antiseptic stuff because you're probably going to fuck yourself.
Yeah, it's literally your body is telling you, no, that's danger. Don't do that.
Yeah, and someone's ramming a giant flesh stick down your throat. That's danger. Please don't do that.
We're ignoring the danger.
Wait, are we talking about the chips still, or what are we talking about here?
Both, I think. I think it's applicable to both.
All right, everybody, subscribe, gift 10 subs for the hot dick challenge.
Are you volunteering? Like, where are we gonna? No, never mind. I'm not gonna go any deeper into that.
Yeah, not without the spray, anyway. I am concerned and perplexed. Anyway, so that's been my week. Not the deep throating, the BEANBOOZLED and the dares and stuff like that for the subbing. But a little peek behind the curtain because I don't do things. I try to think things through. Not obviously the BEANBOOZLED. I didn't think that through. But the whole point of doing the subathon then, or around now, was to. It's September, so you get 20% off. Like the person paying for the sub gets 20% off. And then the person receiving the money, me, still gets the full amount. So that's a pretty good deal. Second, ad-free viewing for you and all the people that you've gifted a sub for. And I'm about to go on 3 weeks of probably more regular, more lengthier streams because I'll be on holidays. So all the more viewers that don't have to watch fucking ads because the ads on Twitch are disgusting, basically. Yeah. I actually went and brought Twitch Turbo. I forgot that was a thing. I thought they
I never even see it like advertised.
It's so hidden. It's so
what's
hidden.
It do?
No ads.
Is that it?
Yeah, $10 a month.
How much is $10 a month? I feel like that should be included with my Amazon Prime subscription. Used to be. I feel cheated.
It used to be.
Wow.
But I mean, we're going way back. I don't, if we do want to talk about fucking Twitch and Twitch things, Twitch being Twitch. Ooh.
Oh my god, Twitch has been a dumpster fire this last week.
Yeah, there's a couple things to be said. First of all, you're living under a rock if you don't know about the drama that's going on. Also, Twitch thrives on drama. So, drama breed drama, which is why we're just not actually going to talk about the shit fest that's going on with particularly some very large creators who are just getting larger from creating some drama, which is some pretty fucking shitty drama, not gonna lie.
And it's funny because like a lot of it stems from one thing and one person, and it's just snowballed and it's caused a lot of issues all over the place.
Well, when you say snowballed, it became public.
Yeah.
It was always there.
It's
just that it's being come out public how shit some of these creators are who are, put up on a platform here. And look, in my opinion, every single name that gets involved in this entire mess should be just straight up. They should just kick them from the platform. Just get rid of them.
That's never going to happen there because it's funnily, coincidentally, all these people are also some of the biggest earners on the platform, so it's not going to happen. Twitch really values the
Just remember, YouTube did it too, where they're like, this is fine, big earners, blah blah blah, and then the big earning, aka ads and advertising, went, no thank you, you're a brand risk, and then they lost so much money.
This is true. I'm wondering actually why that hasn't happened yet with like Twitch's
it is
ad
happening.
roles.
Like
their advertisers.
Well, all the people that have caused all the drama and stuff like that are obviously doing whatever, but I mean, you just have to watch Twitch. You see the same ads over and over again. There's not a lot of diversity. It's not like YouTube. Anyway.
A lot of it is Amazon's own ads.
So, without talking about the fucking people that just shit humans who create heaps of drama and then like fucking try to navigate their drama in such a way that they come out richer at the end, even though they've shat on people's lives. Let's not talk about them, but let's talk about Twitch for a second, because like I said before, it's like the turbo thing. It's well hidden for a reason, because they want people to watch the ads because they make a lot of money out of it. Advertising is big money. Like, if you think subs are the main resource, nah, it's ads. They make so much more money out of ads. It's insanity. Subs, if anything, is just there to pay the server upkeep and costs. Like, they say that their costs and stuff like that go into like R&D to making a better platform, but really it costs a lot of money to serve, which is more than ever people streaming. Like, server costs and stuff like that is insanity. And more people streaming, and a lot of them are streaming to 1 or 2 viewers. So that's
that's also a lot of storage for VODs and highlights.
And that's why that's why they're moving away from publishing VODs or storing VODs for a long time, and that's why they're moving away from, like, that's why they won't go to a better quality streaming. Like, they won't ever go to 4K streaming, because if everybody streams at 4K, that's a hell of a lot of stress. So anyway, I just wanted to remind some people, particularly the younger people, that being an affiliate, like getting your ability to sub and emotes and all that stuff, that used to be out of reach for everyone, like hugely out of reach for everyone. Like, that was, you average your 75. That was partner. It was partner or nothing for the longest time. Like, the affiliate thing, they brought that in to basically get people that had smaller audiences to sub so they could get some money to pay for their costs. Before that, they couldn't even have it, because there's so many people. There's so many people that might have 20, 30 subs, might have 100 subs, or they might be like, averaging 20 viewers or 30 viewers, stuff like that. And they're like, the revenue split's shit. They're, Twitch is robbing me. I'm not making any money. It's like, okay, they gave you this ability to make money only a few years ago. Like, before that, you made zero money. That's back when like Patreon was like taking off, was because Patreon was the way to make money.
Everyone had a Patreon at the time.
Yeah. So then, like, now that they've made an ability so that you can sub after getting 3 average viewers, and then people are like, oh my God, Twitch, how fucking dare you? Like, bro, you weren't getting 0 before. 0. Now you're getting emotes. You're getting animated emotes, which used to be, for the longest time, even that was locked behind partnered. What do they call it? The transcoding. So being able to stream in 1080 and everyone can watch you in 480 and 360, like all that shit's now well and truly available to a lot of people. But still people crying. People bitch about, Twitch takes 50% of my subs. And Twitch's response was, okay, we'll run more ads because they make more money on ads and therefore you make more money on ads. So it's fine. But no one wants to do that because that ruins their things. So people have to realize this is like walking into someone else's kitchen and then demanding that it's set up the way you like it. Like their platform, their server hosting, their streaming, their advertising, everything else, they do all that for you. You're using their tool to do stuff and you get to take some money away from that. That's the deal, right?
Well, I guess like people need to also consider that you can move to a different platform, and YouTube
you don't have to be
really
affiliated.
That's true as well, and I just mean YouTube is stepping up.
They are, but they're not at the same time. I don't.
It's just getting better though.
Look, YouTube made it easier to become partnered, which is basically when you get to have your own URL and you can start doing, subscribers and stuff like that and making money and doing ads and whatever, which is all still a huge grind, and you still won't make as much as Twitch until you get over that threshold. But the problem is the discoverability on YouTube. It is a VOD channel. It is a video on demand. It is a, sit down, watch stuff, stream it, whatever. Very rarely do you open up a page and goes, look at all these people streaming that game you like today. It doesn't say that. It'll be like, look at all these Let's Plays that are dropped in the last few months that are either the people that you follow or people like them. That's it, because they run ads on them. Yeah. And people, will watch those ads and those things don't go away. So when they stop streaming, the stream's gone. They can't run ads anymore. That video that's on the internet for 10 plus years, getting 1,000 views a week, can show maybe 1,000 ads. Or if they have YouTube Red, you get money straight up for it. So YouTube's never going to move away from a winning profile, like a winning way to do it. And they're never going to split their audience and say, don't go to that site, go to this site and watch the live ones when they're making so much money on the VODs. So it's about mixing and matching. And you, as a Twitch person, you can drop your affiliate and you won't have ads. That's the deal. Like if you want to get paid, then they need to get paid as well for the platform. So anyway, the reason why I wanted to sort of break down a lot of this stuff, because, okay, so number one, it's cool to shit on Twitch, all right? People who are effectively clout chasing or whatever will shit on Twitch publicly and say, yo, man, Twitch are dead, they're dying, they're fucking us, blah, 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 and fine. All right, that's cool, man. But at the same time, then they go and stream on Twitch every day. So I don't see them putting their money where their mouth is and you know, making a stand or making a change. So if you truly believe what you are saying, then maybe you would make some kind of shift with it. Then there's the YouTube thing, which, yes, YouTube's a platform, but it doesn't work like Twitch. If you treat YouTube like YouTube, you can be quite successful, but you need to play it like YouTube. You can't go to YouTube and act like it's Twitch. You're not gonna grow.
It's different.
Yeah. Having said that, YouTube's revenue split is 70-30. So YouTube only take 30%. So it's not 50-50 like it is over at Twitch. Now, the way that Twitch has worked for years and years and years is that you, when I say years and years and years, before affiliate, you hit partnered. When you hit partnered, you basically get the little tick and then you can start earning money. It was always sort of out of reach. Same as like getting partnered on YouTube's quite a task as well, which used to be easier and then it got harder and harder and harder because they added watch time. You couldn't just get views on your videos. You needed them to actually watch your videos. Anyway, I digress. So once you hit that limit with Twitch, then the next one is when you surpass that limit. So when you start getting, you know, thousands of viewers or more on the average, then you can go to Twitch and you can negotiate a contract, essentially. So get a better deal. And that better deal, most of the time, would end up being a 70-30 split for a lot of them. And then we're talking a while ago now, right? Then affiliate came in and then everyone was making money. And then all of a sudden, partnered was nice because you get that ad revenue and everything else that goes with it. And it's, you know, it's meant to be a bigger cut. But then the platform grew, more and more people became partnered, and then it wasn't like you didn't necessarily have to go work for Twitch and be a partnered streamer. You could be a partnered streamer and just do your own thing. So then the people who worked with Twitch would get that better cut. The people who just got the tick and just continued about their business continued to get their 50%. Then YouTube did a big push, and then people started shifting around platforms, and then, you know, platforms like Mixer, and then Facebook came in, and they sort of said, you know, Facebook said you get to keep all your money, 100%.
Yeah.
But it's a fucking nightmare to use. I'm sorry, Facebook.
It's terrible, and the streams that I see come up in my news feed
are terrible too.
It's a terrible user experience.
Yeah, that's the best way to sum it up.
Yeah.
So anyway, everybody loves shitting on Twitch, so they went public and they went, "Hell, this is bullshit. 70-30 split over here at YouTube. Why doesn't everyone just go to YouTube? Twitch is ripping us off at 50-50. You know, they need to review their breakdown of subs and stuff like that." Now, remember all the stuff I said before, right? They didn't have to give affiliates. They gave us affiliate. You know, there's costs involved. Twitch runs at a negative value a lot of the time, just from the cost of doing business and the amount of money they spend on it. But they're Amazon, so it doesn't really matter. They never run out of money. So they you know, but they still need to have some kind of costs versus, you know, money coming in.
Yeah.
All that sort of stuff. People started bitching about it. You know, a lot of creators are like, you know, Twitch are ripping us off. And even the creators that are getting 70-30 are like, you know, they need a better deal. Everyone needs to be on a better deal. Everyone needs to be on the same deal. And even though they'll continue to stream on Twitch and bring their money in and whatever and participate in Twitch events, they're shitting on them publicly. Anyway, Twitch, there's a few things going on with Twitch. First of all, there was the whole old mate wanker fucking was scamming out his entire community for
Flickr.
Nearly, I'm trying not to mention names, but thank you.
Sorry. Everyone knows about it.
Ripping off his community for around $300,000 US, and just did it by just randomly DMing people who thought they thought he was his friend, so they sent him money, and it was doing it because he has a gambling problem. And then because it's fun to shit on Twitch, everyone's like, well, it's Twitch's fault for promoting gambling. And then there's all this other shit that comes out of it, but Twitch basically just said, no dice, gambling's banned then. And like the only gambling that's there is like gambling like poker and that sort of stuff where there's, you know, actual odds and you have to actually do something. Skill-based gambling, I guess, for lack of a better term.
It's not like slots, pretty much.
Exactly. So everyone went, woo, big win for Twitch, yay. And then Twitch turned around and said, oh, by the way, you guys were asking that everyone should be on the same revenue split. So we've done that as well, 50-50 for everyone. And then everyone went, no, 70-30. No, 50-50. We're going to put everyone on the same one. So all the big Twitch people, creators and stuff like that, who came out, it's like, yo, everyone needs a better deal. We need to all be in the same. Twitch turned around and said, yeah, you're right. Everyone needs to be on the same 50-50. It's too hard now. And so people that are signing new contracts or getting into new deals, they could still maybe get the 70-30, but it's capped at 100K, and then it's back to 50-50. And everyone else gets 50-50. And then it's become apparently clear to all these people, all of a sudden, it's Twitch's platform. It's Twitch's playbox. You just get to play in it. That's it. You have to do as they say. It's not yours. Go start your own streaming service if you think it's that fucking easy. And
I've had a lot of people go, I miss Mixer. Mixer would be good right now. It's like, you guys had Mixer.
You guys didn't support Mixer.
It's gone.
That's bottom line. You guys didn't support it. It's like, there's so many people that went to Mixer, and then all their friends would be like, yo, I'm coming to Mixer. I'll watch you at Mixer. And then they just never went there. They're stuck with their friends at Twitch. So, but yeah, obviously a better split would be great, but realistically, if you're not hitting those big numbers anyway, like if you can't make, if you can't get partnered and you can't make, obviously not 100K, but like if you can't make like 40K a year, then you're going to be living pretty tight anyway, particularly in these day and age. So if you're making 100K a year, then 50-50 split on top of that, you're doing pretty well for content creation anyway. But I don't know. I just think people forget that it's not your platform. You don't control it. Same as YouTube. YouTube can delete your channel tomorrow. You have no right to it. It's not yours.
And they have done that to people.
Yeah, it's not yours.
Yep.
Yeah, it's theirs. You're just using it. And people don't realize that. If you want to do video hosting and stuff like that, I mean, this is where companies like Rooster Teeth have done. That's why they have their own video hosting platform. They have their own website. They have their first membership to do it. We talk about Corridor Crew a lot. Same deal. Got their own Linus Tactics, run their own website, host their own videos. You can go there and you can pay them directly for it. Like they know. They know it's not their platform. They can't. It's not, you just, all you can do is like, we'll try to work with them to like better and like have a constructive criticism, but like tweeting at shit like, yo, Twitch keep ripping me off, taking 50% for all my hard work. It's like, okay, all right, let's say they pay you 100% and they give you nothing because you're giving them nothing. Is that going to work for you?
Well,
do you need to, like, let's be honest, if you want 100% of your take, Twitch is not going to give you a website. Is that going to work for you? Can you still make content?
It's like, it could be worse. I mean, there's I've seen a lot of people, even in the Australian streaming community, they've started streaming on TikTok. But
you don't get paid on TikTok in Australia.
You don't. And I know for them, maybe it's more for the followers and like the viewers and stuff like that. But you don't get paid on TikTok if you're Australian.
I was watching an interview with KSI, who obviously everyone knows who KSI is if you've ever been on YouTube. And he was saying for 20 million views on TikTok, 20 million views, $3,000. So he said, you just go to TikTok to build yourself to be famous, and then you go to YouTube where the real money is.
Yeah.
That's it.
I mean, just direct people to your platform of choice.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, the thing is with TikTok and stuff like that, the money's not from TikTok. The money's from the advertising. It's from selling out. So from a perspective of, I'm a pizza shop, you can buy a billboard for $10,000, or I can pay 10 influencers $1,000 and reach, a couple 100 million more people. What am I going to do? Yeah. That's where TikTok is. And that's where it's just, in Australia, they just don't care, because if you want to do it, then you do it that way anyway. You do it as an influencer.
Exactly.
But if everyone's doing that and everyone starts selling out, then the platform becomes like ads, and it kind of starts to smell a little bit like Instagram, and you go, I don't have as much fun here anymore.
Instagram is just
ads. I mean, they literally put a shopping button on it.
They did. And it's just like Instagram, it seems to be like it's a permanent.
It's weird how Instagram/Facebook and the metaverse are just so fucking terrible at user interfaces.
It really is, actually.
The user experience is so just disgusting, and I hate it so much.
Definitely.
So, but yeah, so there's been a lot of Twitch stuff, but I just want people need to stay grounded on that stuff. And like, there's creators that I know who are streamed a lot less than me, and they don't run a stream team and do a podcast, and do all this sort of stuff in their spare time. Maybe they just stream and they do it as a living. And when they say a living, they make 20, 30 grand, 40 grand a year, maybe, from their content creation at the moment. And they'll be averaging 20 odd viewers and stuff like that.
Yeah.
They will pick up maybe $600 to $700, maybe a grand or a grand and a half from Twitch on a good month, from subbies and biddies and ad revenue and stuff like that. Maybe on a good month, but more like 500 to 600, right? But then they will do a sponsored deal, which will give them $5,000 lump sum. And that's where they make it up. And this is where people need to realize that you can't just go live every day, get 5 subs, and then complain about the fact that you made $30 and Twitch made $30. Well, actually, no. If you did 5 subs, it's what, $25 roughly. It's roughly $30. So you get 15, that Twitch gets 15. So then you go, you get on Twitter and you're like, fuck Twitch for taking my $15. So, okay, mate, you're doing it wrong. You need to diversify. It's like my whole thing is, like, I'm never going to make money out of content creation to the point where I'm going to be like retiring or anything like that. But I really like content creation. I like technology. I like games. I like all this sort of stuff. So
yeah, it's your hobby. That's your interest.
Yeah, but I can't afford to do it because I'm a poor bastard and I have been my whole life. So the subs and everything like that, they all go back into buying the next game or upgrading the next piece of equipment or doing the next thing. Like, hosting a podcast costs money. So, this all that sort of stuff. And, we've got PAX coming up. There's a lot of things going on. I'm not doing a lot of things for myself. I'm doing a lot of things to give back to the community because all the community, the greatest streaming community is going to be in one area at one time. So it's a good time to give back a little bit and like meet people and talk to people and do that sort of stuff. I'm not like, I'm getting up at this time and I'm going to be lined up to play this game at this time. Like, I'm not thinking about myself so much as I'm thinking about all the other people that I'm going to see. And then the week after that, I'm going to, do me stuff when it's just me around. But I don't know. It's just people to look at Mr. Beast and they're like, yo, man, I can do that. It's like,
can you?
Yeah, that's the 0.01s of the world. I mean, if you really wanted to go all in content creation for the sole purpose of making money, just make an OnlyFans. There.
Or Feet Finder is popping off.
I don't know. I've never been.
Make content with your feet. Feet is apparently good.
All right. When you're opening up Feet Finder?
I got approved for an account with Feet Finder years ago.
Go. All right. You'll get those plugs at the end of the episode. You stay tuned now. You get your Feet Finder plugs at the end of the Put in code Shelby into Feet Finder for an additional.
No, thank you.
10% a foot.
10% a toe. I'm worth it.
But yeah, it's interesting. Anyway, so that was like, there was a lot of other Twitch drama and stuff like that, and I've come to the conclusion that the people that play into that whole drama frat boy attitude that sort of seems to get a lot of views and whatever, they're all shit humans anyway. So if your hero recently turned out to be a shit human exposed on Twitch, then you probably need to have a good look at who you choose as heroes in your time.
Yeah.
But I do want to talk about something else, which is it's some Twitch drama. I know I didn't want to go into details and stuff like that, but I feel like there's a lot that happened very quickly with the gambling stuff, the revenue split, and everything else that happened. That one sort of fell under the radar, so to speak, which is the chess grandmaster who lost his name. So world champion Magnus Carlsen. Carlsen.
No, this story.
Lost to Grandmaster Hans Niemann in a stunning upset. Accusations of cheating beginning to fill the air. So there's a lot that happened, and the reason this is Twitch drama is because it was done on Twitch. It happened on Twitch, which just means that the internet gets a front row seat, and the internet is like the heckler of the century. So, but basically, the world champion Carlsen, he got beaten in an upset. He made a tweet afterwards basically saying that he's bored of chess now. And then there was a rematch where like he sat back down and after one move he quit and said, I'm done, and sort of left. So it's yeah. So
weird.
So what do we got? I've got an article up here just to go through some high level.
I'm just waiting for you to get to that key point that I know is just going, oh man, I'm so excited.
This was the question on everyone's mind, is how did Niemann beat Carlsen? The 19-year-old managed to knock out the 5-time world champion at the $500,000 Sinqueal Cup in St. Louis, Missouri last week. The two had never played before, and Neiman was clearly the weaker and less experienced player, but he was playing as black. There's a two faced off 3 days into the tournament on September 5. Carlson making an early mistake, and Neiman managing to force him into a difficult endgame. Grand Chessmaster reports that a counter with the bishop on turn 13 turned out to be especially devastating. Things continued downhill until Carlson eventually lost on time. So he basically got pushed to
ran out of time to make his move. Yeah.
So then straight after that, Carlson tweeted, "I've withdrawn from the tournament. I've always enjoyed playing chess, and I hope to be back in the future." So it's sort of a sore loser thing, right?
Yeah.
So then after all that, where are we? So then after that, then there was this whole discussion that moved to Reddit, the chess subreddit and social media. It's going to be a hot place. And sorry. Okay. So basically, Carlson, without saying it, sort of suggested that Neiman was cheating. So someone posted, they were sort of going back and forth as how could you even possibly cheat, right? And then there was this Reddit post that went in great detail. I'll kind of read it, but it kind of goes off a little bit off the track, so I'll give some high summaries in here as well. So the real answer, this is how it starts. The real answer is actually elementary. Mangus cheats as well. He's always had anal beads up his butt, maybe for the past 10 years, and that's how he's been dominating the entire field of players. There is a slight dip during the time and play he played with, I guess, another player, because he was, oh my God, because the other player was so drunk that he could, there's a slight dip in play because the other player was so drunk he could feel the vibrations as well and ended up losing the game. His team decided to turn up the vibrations to max, and that's how Mangus survived the encounter. I didn't understand any of this. So basically, this guy is basically saying that they do like Morse code through anal beads to Mangus, who's the champion, and that's how he's been able to win. Got AI-controlled anal beads.
Mm-hmm.
Then
it's Hans that they say is the anal bead guy.
This is paragraphs, yeah, right?
Okay.
Neiman, it says here, recently Mangus realized that his anal beads supercomputer design he had created had been stolen. And of course, he couldn't come clean about the cheating, so he drummed up an excuse of being bored, and that's why he did the tweet. So he wouldn't lose the world championships. Who he suspected who may have stolen the anal beads? Well, Neiman, of course. He says that basically it goes on to describe how both players at this particular time, at this particular moment, both had the supercomputer AI-controlled anal beads up their butts, and they both cancelled each other out by sending signals to each other. They wirelessly connected to each other, and then therefore he couldn't use his super-powered anal beads.
So, look.
Anyway,
I'm struggling to find my words.
He went into so much details. About it that the internet's like, yeah, that makes sense.
How can you discern the Morse code?
I have no idea. Like everyone just went, yeah, that makes sense. I'm reading this article off Kotaku. Kotaku has printed the whole story of the anal beads.
Mm-hmm.
This is when people were talking about, oh my God, they banned gambling. Half the internet was over in a little corner talking about how you can...
Did you hear about the guy with the anal beads?
Yeah, the chess grandmaster anal bead conspiracy that's happening right now. Explained is the name of this.
Oh my God.
This is what the internet was designed for. All right, it's not to take things too seriously. It's to come up with weird and wonderful fan fictions, really.
Mm.
So anyway, the moral of the story is keep in your corner because the other corner might involve some other weird shit. Yeah, I mean, in terms of the entire whole Twitch thing, going back to Twitch in general, just do your thing. Don't worry about what everyone else's commentary or what they're saying or whatever else. If you run into it, you deal with your problems. But generally speaking, if you want to create content in a discoverable platform that is fairly easy to use and fairly easy to use for users, then Twitch is still the place to be. So if you want to move into more YouTube and be a YouTuber, then be a YouTuber, do YouTube stuff. But don't go to YouTube thinking it's Twitch, because that's not going to work.
And don't cheat at chess with vibrating anal beads.
Don't cheat, exactly. Or do.
Yeah.
Because you'll probably get more followers.
I like how this podcast has this... We've circled back several times now to, I guess, for because I was thinking about the anesthetic throat spray. I was like, and then we had talked about Feet Finder and OnlyFans, and now we're talking about vibrating anal beads.
I mean, if we've learnt anything at all, drama is where it's at. Like, we need to, we're gonna call this the unknown Twitch drama explained, and we'll get 4 million views. An easy clap. We'll get $20 in our bank account. Sick. Can you imagine $20?
Well, props to the people who always post things like explaining threads. Like they're the people who break down like a drama to make it like concise and digestible. Because I can't follow things.
Props to this dude who's laying in his bed making TikToks, who just duets fucking part 1 of 8 TikToks and just gives us the bottom. It's like, you won't believe what we found in that. They found a safe. They opened it. Nothing was in it.
That guy, and there's also another one with a girl, and her name is Cliff Notes Gal, and everyone tags her whenever there's like a 6-part story they don't want to listen to, and she does the same thing. God. And I love these people. I follow both of them.
You're
it's so good.
Tasking someone else watching TikTok for you.
Oh my God, it is. Yeah.
What do you want me to do? I want you to watch TikTok and then just give me the Cliff Notes later.
And we know why people break their TikTok stories into like 10 parts, because it gets them more views, it makes them more famous, whatever. But TikTok does do 3-minute long videos now, so I just like pointing that out. Not that anyone uses them really, because they want the full view of the whole video. And
YouTube does 1-minute videos now and call them shorts.
Yeah.
It's weird.
Speaking of which, I now post shorts on my YouTube channel.
So they show your feet, right, for Feet Finder. That's why you wear shorts.
Why would I show my feet on YouTube? That's showing them for free. Obviously, I have to monetize my feet correctly.
You do a slow pan down, and then when it gets to the ankles, you just flash up Patreon.
Patreon doesn't allow adult content much anymore, do they?
Feet aren't adult content.
That's a good point. Technically, they're not. It's really what you're doing with the feet.
Anyway, enough about your Feet Finder. So what? As much as we don't. I don't give a shit about drama. Like, I like watching a good car crash, obviously, when no one gets hurt. But a lot of this drama, people get hurt. Oh, they fake it, one or the other. I mean, for a great example, we mentioned how fucking Ninja had a breakdown, which is like, he had those sort of breakdowns where, when you might not know so much, but let's imagine, like, if you ever go to work, but you feel shit, but not shit enough, but you're sort of sick of work as well. So you'd be like, oh man, I can't do it today. I'm feeling too much. I got to go home. And everyone's like, oh, I hope you feel better soon. And then the second you walk out the door, you feel 1,000% better because you're not at work anymore. And you go home and you fucking order pizza and watch TV. And so that's what Ninja did. Right? We talked about how he had a breakdown at the end of his stream and he took a week off and disappeared. That motherfucker was eating pizza, watching daytime TV, and having the time of his life.
He was fine. It was planned. He got rid of his partnership.
He finished his contract and he didn't sign a new one. He went and got his own deal, streaming on all these other platforms. He did that sort of stuff as well. And, that was just drama. He just made a heap of drama. He sat at home eating pizza, watching Days of Our Lives while fucking everyone else was writing about him and he wasn't doing fucking nothing. This is brilliant.
He's having a break, having a holiday, while he prepared his next move.
He was having a break while everyone else thought he was having a breakdown, and we're promoting him constantly while he wasn't doing anything.
Genius.
And to a certain degree, we talked about Crunchyroll in the last one. More people have heard about Crunchyroll Expo than ever before.
Bad press is good press, I guess.
Good press, I guess. They did not come out with any sort of explanation or apology or nothing. They just kind of swept it under the rug. And
vague and
if you ring them up and go, "Hell, man, are you guys the guys from Crunchyroll Expo?" They go, "Crunchy what? Nah, we do TV. We do anime."
No, they've basically stopped. Like, people have basically stopped talking about it. But I have seen some great TikToks still coming out about the Crunchyroll experience. So definitely a few memes out there.
Yeah, it was funny to see. I started to see a lot more like, check out Crunchyroll Expo. My day at Crunchyroll, like, videos, but they'll post it like a week later because they didn't want people like commenting negative shit on them.
I've also seen some that were just like, all right, well, get ready with me to get in cosplay. We're going to Crunchyroll Expo, and they're like doing their vlog at the start of the day at home, being all excited. And then they're like, it was shit, stayed in line for like 3-5 hours. Bye, guys. I was like, okay.
In the interest of full transparency, they did submit a update or a statement, I guess, to Kotaku, who ran probably the most popular article. And it basically said, fan safety is priority number one, and we did our best to safely get everyone inside for a fabulous time. We worked tirelessly throughout the weekend, and our venue and facility partners were a solution to accommodate all ticket patrons. We know everyone was excited about celebrating anime together. We had no issues with our guest entry on Sunday. However, for anyone who could not blah, 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 get a refund. Doesn't say sorry anywhere, and it does say we and us and the team a lot. So,
yeah, it's not a good. It's just a little bit like
the statement reads like it's like who really the victim here? What that statement sort of says to me.
Yeah.
Like, okay, you had a bad weekend. We paid you for it.
Stop picking on us. We did our best, kind of statement.
Yeah. So but that's it. That's all the information.
Speaking of Crunchyroll, I wanted to touch on simulator games because we talked a few weeks ago about you playing simulator games, and the reason that this is because I had made like a little list of other funny simulator names by title only, and there's one called Q Simulator, and I was just thinking that's what we called Crunchyroll. So I kind of wanted to move over there and just see how you're going with your simulator games, and how's that going for you?
It's stimulating my simulating abilities. I don't know. I haven't had a good one yet.
Oh no! What have you played so far?
I did Fishing Simulator 2022. It was fine. Really, not much to it.
Clearly, you need Big Fishing Simulator 2022. Well, I think that's a thing.
It said on the bio that you go deep sea fishing, you can catch sea monsters. And I thought, holy shit. But that's not without playing 40, 50 hours of fishing in a puddle. So
okay.
That's no good. Your Pawn Shop Simulator. That was someone brought $70 worth of assets off Steam and then repackaged it into a $1 a game and send it off to everyone. Because that was like, stand there, people come up, give you stuff, you put stuff on shelf. Other people come up, take stuff off shelf. And then if you walk out, there's very slow moving cars that can run you over and cost you $90. That was the whole game.
I think most of those low budget simulator games do the whole. I've
got Thief Simulator, which is
that one's meant to be better.
So I haven't played that yet. And I've got Electrician Simulator, which looks interesting from my point of view, but maybe not that interesting to watch. It's the same as like the people were talking about brewery simulator. Go brew your own beer simulator.
Yeah,
it's like this looks interesting, but is it interesting to watch? That's the question.
It good content?
Content. But yeah, I don't know. There was a Pizza Shot Simulator, which kind of looks kind of cool. So I requested a key for that because it's not out yet. I was hoping they made me send me an error, but we'll see what happens. But it kind of made me think like they should make let me think about my words. I want to say it properly. They should do Crazy Taxi again
as a simulator game
for now, but make it Crazy Uber, and your job is like to be just the worst Uber driver, basically. You take like put no restrictions on it, so all sanity goes out the window. So you'll be like picking someone up, and then you can accept another ride, and then pick two people up, and then get them into a fight, and then pick up some food while you're at it, and then like race that there, and then.
I'd love it if you did like a carpool thing, and then they started fighting. That would be funny.
So okay, I thought about this before because I saw that, and I'm like, this kind of looks like poor man's Crazy Taxi, this pizza simulator one, and I'm like, it'd be cool if they did like a food one where it's just balls to the wall craziness and just a lot of laughs and whatever. And then it hit me just before while I was talking about this. I recently sat down and watched the latest season of Cobra Kai. And anyone who has Netflix or knows anything about decent television has watched Cobra Kai, or at least Karate Kid, right,
mm-hmm.
Shelby?
Yeah. Well, definitely, I've definitely watched that. So, yeah. That's
a no. Anyway, Cobra Kai follows the villain from Karate Kid. Now they're all older and they're Z-grade celebrities and blah, blah, blah. Anyway, he's an alcoholic. He's a white boy trying to be a karate instructor. They go through a heap of shit. In this latest one, he's trying to clean up his act. He's no longer a karate instructor because of the events of the previous season. So he becomes an Uber driver, but he's like out of touch. He's a boomer. So like the tech guys set him up with a mobile phone, and then he goes out and he just picks people up in his dirty old van full of old beer cans, and everyone is like everyone's like, "Oh, this is gross. It smells like beer in here." It's like, that's because there is beer in here. And he like picks up more than one driver at a time and stuff like that. And he's just, it's just hilarious watching him try to, us cultured people know how to use a rideshare platform, but there's definitely a generation that missed it.
I think what you're saying reminds me of you've probably seen clips from this movie. It's called Spree. Have you heard of it?
Never heard of it.
Okay, so it is a movie that stars Joe Keery, who is Steve from Stranger Things. It is a Uber driver who live streams his trips, when he's picking up passengers and stuff with GoPros. And like the entire film is shot with these like GoPro cameras and like the live streaming setup. However, this driver is a murderer. and like he's live streaming his actions to the world. And it's like, I haven't seen it, but I've heard a lot about it, and it's pretty crazy. But definitely something to look into in terms of, I think you'd find it interesting how it's filmed. But yeah, it's just basically a really chaotic movie about being a murdering Uber driver. And at one point he gets banned off the platform and he just goes to a different rideshare platform.
Good.
Yeah.
Yeah. Have you heard about the guy who live streams his Uber drives?
I have seen a few people do that.
There's one guy who has he has a Google, what are they called? Bloody little ones. Google whatever speaker thing. And he has it hanging off his mirror as like a Bluetooth speaker. And when people donate to his stream, it talks. So
wow.
He'll be driving along, and then he'll hear the donation sound, and he'll be like, "Damn, I'd love to rail that bitch in the back seat." And he'll be like, "No, don't listen to that. Don't listen to that." It's like, "Yo, she's kind of fit though. Why don't you get her number?" or stuff like that. It's just like, no, don't listen to that. Sometimes it's just hilarious, and sometimes it's it's just fucking wild. And it's
questionable.
Yeah, I mean, it's questionable, but he's making money doing it. It's the same as the guy who sleeps and has a Google thing that.
There's so many people who do that these days on TikTok, especially.
Making money sleeping. Oh, when you?
Yeah. Oh, they go like, "Hey Google, what's my current location?" or "Hey Alexa," and like they start doxing them on.
People were listening to this on their things.
Oh, I'm sorry. Anyway, we should have like a sub word for Google so we can sub it out. Otherwise, our Google will start talking.
Is this your first podcast?
No, yeah. Well, actually, this is the only podcast I've ever been on. So, yeah, if you're out there, invite me to your podcast. I'll trigger everyone's. No. But going back to Spree, I'll just give you a quick rundown. So there's a young man who's obsessed with becoming a social media star. He has a kid he used to babysit who became an internet celebrity, and he got pretty jealous of him as well. He finds work as a driver for a rideshare app called Spree, so their version of Uber, fits out his car with cameras, and begins a new live stream called The Lesson, where he instructs viewers on how to become famous on social media. He starts picking up passengers and killing them with poisoned bottles of water that he hands out in his car to gain attention. Despite this, he doesn't gain any viewers except for the one who's the internet famous guy who believes the killings are fake. One of the passengers is a comedian with a large social media following, and then, he tries to kill her. It's like this. There's a whole thing, but it's pretty wild. But yeah,
right.
Interesting. It's a very Zoomer movie, I think.
It does. Definitely sounds like it. But it's what was I going to say? There was another movie that's like it kind of screams gimmick to me. Like you get a guy from Stranger Things. Get a gimmick, make a movie, and I've definitely seen it. So the guy who has the text to speech thing is Asian Andy on YouTube.
Oh yes, yeah, so I know Asian Andy.
Yeah, so he makes so it's not live streamed; it's recorded content. I think most of the time. So I guess it's streamed as well. Maybe I don't fucking know. I just see the clips all the time, and it's just like hilarious. But I like that version better than people getting murdered and stuff. So it's good as well.
Well, good thing the one with the murders is fake.
Well, you say that, but I also looked up Twitch streaming Uber drivers, and there was a couple disturbing articles there. So.
Yeah, and I've seen like people just record their customers and their customers like having a fight with them about it, and yeah.
Yeah, it's a lot.
Don't record people without the consent.
It's a lot like the the people, fuck, it's the dark side of TikTok. It's the First Amendment check.
Mm-hmm.
They just walk into anything that's a government listed business, and then they just like walk out the back and stuff. And then when they get asked to leave, it's like, no, this is my right to be here. This is the First Amendment. Like,
I haven't heard that.
You're not meant to be here though. Like, this is the post office, sir. You can't be at the back. You don't work here. He's like, I pay my taxes. You're a government building. I'm allowed to be wherever the fuck I want. And then when people come up and they like start to like ask him to leave or whatever, he's like, I will sue you. I will sue this country. Blah blah blah. And they just do that, and they just have like this is like dark web of freaking doing First Amendment checks or some bullshit. The whole thing's bullshit. And half the stuff that they spill, like sometimes you see like lawyers' reaction and like, nah, man, this is, this and this is why they can do whatever. Anyway, I was watching one the other day where he walked into a police station and like he's just walking in, like there wasn't manned or anything, like it wasn't a public area. He just like walking out the back. He got in an elevator, went upstairs. Mm-hmm. And then when he got up at the top, they're like, who are you? He's like, and the guy just grabbed him and he's like, you can't touch me. He's like, fucking watch me. And took him downstairs, threw him out on the steps onto the ground, and then just like pushed him out into the fucking road. And he's like, I'm going to sue you. He's like, fuck off. And then shut the door. And he's like, oh, I can't believe this. Oh, I'm bleeding. And then I was looking at the comments, and then everyone's like, fucking finally. Oh my God, beat this guy up.
Fuck that guy.
No sympathy whatsoever. I'm like, oh, thank God. And like, just people like that, it's just fucking ruining the platforms. Like, why? What reason are you there apart from store up trouble?
But they get the clicks and the views for doing dumb shit. So
exactly, goes back to causing drama.
I mean, you watched it, so it must be working.
I only watched that one because when the elevator, I'm like, what is this guy doing? And then when the elevator opened up, and he's like. Like the guy went to touch him and he's like, oh man, it's my First Amendment rights. Oh, it's one of these ones. And then when the guy actually grabbed him, we're like, oh, here we go. This guy's gonna get rolled.
Yeah.
Made me so happy. But yeah. So anyway, so what drama are you gonna cause to like get people to click on your channels and stuff?
I mean, I do have this, I guess. Okay. So that there's aside from no, well, it could be. Oh. You know how like there's like a really tight knit community of like cozy game players and like people who like cozy games. So for those who don't know, a cozy game is like Stardew Valley, Animal Crossing, anything that's really light on combat is like cute and like anything. It's just cozy games, right? Slime Rancher 2 could be considered a cozy game, for instance.
I'd call it more of an MLG skill based.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah. Only a few people have finished it since it came out yesterday.
Oh, you're one of the first.
That's right. Fucking know it.
Like, controversial opinions for the cozy game community. I feel like we've reached this point, especially right now, where a lot of games that are coming out are basically the same game and the same format. And every game is...
No.
Every game, people are like, oh, this one's like Animal Crossing. This one's like Stardew Valley.
When there's a really popular game, people don't ever copy it. So, like, when that indie shooter Call of Duty came out, they didn't like make another shooter.
That's not what I mean. I just mean that.
So when that indie darling Animal Crossing came out, that they shouldn't make, I don't know, Dinkum, which is the Australian copycat.
Shut up. People just, there's like having like a few more games, but then there's like too much now. There's too many. Stardew Valley and Animal Crossing are like the blueprint for most cozy games that revolve around a town that you're trying to improve.
Which is basically like cartoon top-down versus 3D cartoony animal-ish.
Yeah. So I just want to say, like, in the month of September and around, we've got Fae Farm, Hoko Life, Wildflowers, Potion Permit, Disney Dreamlight Valley, Story of Seasons, and Dinkum and Catizens came out recently as well, and more.
There's more. There's definitely more.
There's more. They're the ones that I could just think of off the top of my head.
The problem is that you can show you a screenshot. Say, what was the one that I told you about? Was it?
Ocean Permit.
All right, so Ocean Permit, you could look at that, and you could almost go, okay, is this Disney of Seasons? No, there's no Goofy. Maybe this is the Spell one. No, it's not that one. Is it Hocker then? Could be Hocker. Yeah, no, it must be Hocker. And then you look at it, no, this is a totally different game again.
Yeah, it's just, there's too many now. And I think that a lot of them aren't really necessarily
no one's breaking new ground.
Yeah, they're not improving on the genre. A lot of it, especially there's some that use, animal characters who live in their town. Well, Animal Crossing does that, and they look very similar.
So
this one has witch elements. Well, a lot of them now have witch elements.
Now you have the spell one as well. So there's a potion one, and there's a witch one,
which is wildflowers.
Yes. So the couple things, obviously, if you're improving it, because Rune Factory is the same sort of thing, right?
Yes.
But then they add monster hunting to it, and it's like, cool. Dinkum's great because they added. Mainly, the big thing they added was that you can have co-op that works really well, and it's not just visiting each other and screwing around like it is in Animal Crossing. It's actual co-op. And then you look at something like Stardew. Stardew was like, everyone's like, this is good, but it kind of needs this. And then like a year later, Stardew will be like, hey, that thing you said it kind of needs, we've given it now. And then everyone's like, did we say that? Like, yeah, it was a year ago. It took us a while, but we got there. It's like, oh, okay.
Mm-hmm.
How about that multiplayer? They're like, it's coming. And then they like a year later, they'll be like, here's a multiplayer. It's like they're progressively making that game better. And then there's other games that they're like, let's do Stardew, but then add potions. Okay, are you doing anything else? Nah, that's enough.
and I'm not at all trying to say that they're bad games. They're good games, and I'm playing a lot of Disney Dreamlight Valley right now, but I just want to see more innovation, something really different.
Can I ask a question about the Disney game?
Sure.
How much does that cost?
It's on Xbox Game Pass. For me, it was free.
That's not my question. How much does it cost?
I think it's actually quite expensive to buy. I haven't looked it up recently.
Someone told me it's stupidly expensive, and the only reason anyone's playing it is because it's on Game Pass. But then at the same time, when I watch anyone play it or anyone explains how it works, it sounds like a free-to-play game.
Basically. So you can get the normal version, because there's different versions, is $42.95 AUD.
But it's time-based stuff, right?
Yeah, it's like Farmville.
Farmville's a free-to-play game.
Yeah, but it's different.
Why am I paying to play a free-to-play game?
Hold on. Deluxe edition is $73 and the Ultimate edition is $103. And the only differences between those you get is like some additional currency and some additional clothing and house items. Because that's a big part of it. But it is free to play, I guess, if you have it on Xbox, which is what I have it on Xbox.
Have a subscription, which is not free to play.
Yeah, so it's not free to play, but it's on there.
But why isn't it a free to play game?
They could heavily monetize it. It's actually not monetized in the game. There's no in-game currency that costs real money at the moment. I think there will be, but right now it's not.
It's Disney Dream Time?
Dreamlight Valley. And it's good. Like, it's fun and it's very well made.
Okay, interesting. All right. Okay, so Gameloft made it, who are very well known for making mobile games.
And other very heavy action gun games, it looks like.
Like what?
Modern Combat 5, Modern Combat Versus. They're all free to play.
They're free to play mobile games that are clones of the Call of Duty franchise. They have 100%. This is like iPhone 4 years. These guys make mobile games. I think you're playing a mobile game where they said, let's charge them full price.
It doesn't feel like a mobile game though. There's so much to do.
Charge them full price.
Nah, I disagree. I think it's actually decent. I wouldn't pay for the Ultimate or Deluxe editions.
Man,
definitely.
Modern Warfare just came out. What are we going to call our game? Oh, Modern Combat. Yeah. No one will get them mixed up.
If you have Xbox Game Pass, check it out. But they will be doing rolling updates, so they've got to open more worlds and bring in more characters and things like that. I think next is Toy Story and an expansion like The Lion King, and that's all coming next.
It's a mobile game. I just want to. We talked about this a couple of weeks ago with Ubisoft.
It's too graphically intense.
Stop! You just sealed the deal. Exactly what we talked about just the other week. There's fucking Assassin's Creed games. There's Division games. There's Rainbow Six games. They're all coming to mobile. There's no longer. It looks like a mobile game to be a mobile game.
All I mean is it's available on Nintendo Switch as well, and people's Nintendo Switches are struggling to play it.
And that's I'm saying they went to a mobile people to use a mobile game, and then they just packaged it as a full-time game and sent it out to everyone.
We'll see. We'll keep watching this. Maybe it will come out.
It's a bad game. There's some great fucking mobile games.
I'm just saying we'll keep an eye on it. We'll see. It'll probably come out and get mobile. I just think it's
probably like, I don't know. It's probably running on the same engine as Modern Combat 7. Anyway, look, I do want to just help out the listeners and just let them know that you at least have played a real game. Mind you, I think you've probably played more Disney game than the real game. But you did at least play a real game this week, right?
Are you saying that
Disney
games like this are not real games?
Yes.
Are you beefing?
You're playing the Disney version of Candy Crush right now.
I'm not. I'm playing the Disney version of Animal
okay.
Crossing right now.
All right. Yeah. Okay. So it's like you don't have to make sure you log in daily and check your farm or anything, right?
You don't have to. I just plant the crops that take a certain amount of hours to grow.
So anyway, this real game, how was that?
As per 2 podcasts ago, I had Twitter vote and pick a real game, like a AAA title for me to play. And they chose The Last of Us Part 1, so I stole your PlayStation 5 for a few days. Mm-hmm. And I played through The Last of Us Part 1 to completion on stream. It was good. It was nice. I didn't like the combat so much, but it was enjoyable and the story's good. And it visually, it looked beautiful. It was, looked so nice, the remake. 10 out of 10.
10 out of 10.
10 out of 10.
You play the second one?
I mean, sure. Why not?
Actually?
Yeah, why not? Yeah. But I know that story one like already so well. I watched you play it fairly recently.
They've written the story for the third one. They haven't started it, but they've said the story's set. Like they know what's happening.
Right.
Which is interesting. Because we might end up in a Game of Thrones scenario here.
What's that?
Well, like the story's set for the third one, so the story continues. So there's a part 3 that will sort of wrap things up, if that makes a lot of sense, right?
I see, yeah.
But they're not working on it. So when they start working on it, it's probably going to be 3 to 5 years before it comes out, which means maybe 2030. But we got a TV show coming out next year. So
you think
if that goes really well, then
overtake?
season 2 of the TV show might come the year after, and then season 3 might come the year after that, and then we have to make up part 3 before they release the game. We would end up in a Game of Thrones scenario.
That'll be wild. But the filming looks good. Like saw some stills and stuff.
You don't even know how topical the episode. When this episode drops, it is Last of Us Day.
Is that when it first comes out?
This is the community-driven day, like similar to like how Mass Effect has N7 Day. This is Last of Us Day. This is the community day.
Happy Last of Us Day! I did it, guys. I joined the club.
I think it might be the same day that the outbreak happens. Something like that.
Oh, that makes sense. Wait, isn't that... No. Yeah, no, I think you're right.
September 26th is Last of Us Day, and heavily hinted that we will get our Last of Us trailer for the TV show that airs early next year.
Let's do it.
So there's already a few clips and stuff that have popped up online, little like promotional bits that have been put in like HBO thing. It is a HBO show, so it could very well be Game of Thrones.
It's true.
Looks spectacular. The casting looks spectacular. I feel like they've done a lot to make sure that it's going to be close to it. I don't think we're going to have a repeat of Halo, where Halo kind of tried to be its own thing when the source material is already so good. Why don't you just fucking stick to the source material? Same way that we're getting an Assassin's Creed TV show. Same deal. Like the same. It's exactly the same problem. Like when they made the Assassin's Creed movie, where they just tried to do their own thing. It's like don't stick to the script.
Do it. Yep. Don't do like Resident Evil TV show on Netflix that got cancelled.
It was painful.
Yep.
But yeah, it looks spectacular. The steals and the promotional stuff that's floating around. I hope we get a trailer. Like it's going to be hype. And I think the timing of this game, it's not a coincidence. Game comes out a month later, Community Day trailer drops. It'll be a month later, an extended trailer. You're going to have a multiplayer game that'll probably drop around the same time the show drops. Away they go. Happy days.
Nice.
Print money. I'm excited for it. Like the whole concept, and I know that you spent a lot of time like looking at the lore and other characters and stuff like that.
I did. Yeah, I've read all the pieces of paper.
Yeah, so there's a lot that they can dive into and really stretch it out. But yeah, it's going to be interesting. I think
I'm excited. What's that going to be streaming at? Is that Netflix?
Or it'll be HBO.
HBO, okay.
10 episodes, by the way, hour-long episodes.
Excellent.
So that gives you about 10 hours. Took you 15 hours to finish the game?
Less than. I think I did 4 hours per stream, so I only hit like 12 hours. I must have sped through parts. Well, I did definitely at the end. I just got to a point where I was like mad at the combat in the hospital, so I literally just charged through meleeing and then ran to the door.
So Neil Druckmann actually tweeted out saying, Community Day, The Last of Us Day, it's only a couple of days away. What's it going to be this year?
Ooh.
And then the actress who plays Ellie responded to it with a bit of a shrug. So,
yeah.
Let the internet go wild.
That's what that's for.
But yeah, it's yeah, it's kind of cool. Very excited. We're in a weird space where, like you said, the Resident Evil TV show got just shat on, to be honest. And the few people were like, I kind of liked it. The same kind of people that digest Netflix stuff on the daily. And it's like
it was very Netflix and
it
not
might
very
have been mid to high tiered Netflix, but that makes it mid to low tier everything else.
Yeah, I just saw that one clip repeatedly of the girl singing because she was like possessed or something. I don't know, and that just threw me off. I couldn't do it.
That is not the clip that you want getting out there to fucking.
That was all I saw. That was the only promotion that I saw for it, and it was massive cringe. And also that clip was posted on like the Netflix account. Like they chose that clip to promote the show.
That's what I mean. That's just
like
dumb.
Why would you do that? That's like shooting your show in the foot.
Before anyone gets upset and they'll be like, yo, Netflix,
I'm always upset.
Netflix, you fucked up, blah blah blah, you've ruined it. They're never going to make video games into TV shows ever again.
Yeah.
Cyberpunk Edgerunners currently has an average score of 100%.
Amazing.
With an audience average score of 97%.
And we're watching that tonight.
And it's on Netflix. It is a Netflix-driven triggered animation.
I love Studio Trigger. So good.
To the point where Cyberpunk, the game, is seeing its highest numbers since launch, with over 100,000 concurrent players.
That's impressive.
It's amazing. It's amazing what like a good story, like good content. Doesn't even have to be in your game. Just good content from your world can generate, good press. Like no one watched that Resident Evil show and went out and bought Resident Evil. I can tell you that much.
Not at all. Fuck no.
But there is people watching this anime, and there's people that are playing the game who are watching anime for the first fucking time because they've heard how good the show is. And there's a lot of behind the scenes stuff where they're talking with both the showrunners, the creators from the game, and also Studio Trigger, where they are talking about where they disagreed about things, and then they had to, they sat down and they talked about it, and they, will eventually come to an outcome, whether it be they keep a certain character or keep a certain art design or keep a character trait or something like that. So it wasn't like, hey, here's the license to Resident Evil, go make whatever the fuck you want. This was everything was discussed between all parties. They came up with this. It's good.
Yeah.
So, which is, it's good. And look, I know we're mindful of time, and yes, we haven't sat down and watched Edgerunners yet, mainly because I want to watch pretty much all of it in one sitting. But that's me. I do want to just mention, because I feel like it's important, because it's that type of time of year where people are like, this show's good, that show's bad, this is it. There's two shows that are kind of neck and neck with shit going on at the moment, which is obviously the Game of Thrones, whatever it is now, the new one.
House of the Dragon, I think it's called.
House of the Dragon, which people were like, it's cool, but also weird. We forgot how disturbed this fucking world is. And then people who are watching the Lord of the Rings one, which is the Power of the Ring or whatever it is, people raving about that. Like they're saying this is amazing. They've done a good job. I mean, they took for fucking ever, and they spent God knows how much money on it.
Huge budget, yeah.
Going really well, which is great. But at the same time, on the other end of the scale, these are obviously they're good. They're franchises that are big in their own ways and everything else. But then you get Marvel, and they're making She-Hulk is just hard to watch.
I like She-Hulk, but it does have some slow bits, and it's just Marvel. And I've said it before, and I'll say it again. There's too much Marvel happening now.
But also
too much.
There's
too many projects.
There's so much Marvel happening. But the show, the same. It was the same with the last show that we watched, the Mrs. Marvel.
Miss Marvel. Yeah.
There's so much that they could do, but then they focus on the dumb shit, and it's like, okay, there's other stuff that you guys can do, that's actually interesting. But it's all right. I'll wait. Maybe it'll happen.
I've waited
next week.
3 episodes now for them to expand on the fact that she got attacked by a bunch of dudes, and they keep showing clips of it at the start of every episode, like it's important.
I'm going to spoil it for you. All right, do you want me to spoil it for you? Go
on then.
Okay, so the thinker who was teased in Edward Norton's The Hulk, who is a Hulk bad guy, who has a giant forehead, who is a giant forehead, but is a smart man who runs a government organization called Intelligentsia. Well, not a government, sorry, like a criminal organization.
Right.
He is the guy who hired those thugs, who is trying to steal her powers or whatever, for whatever stupid reason. Okay, but here's the kicker. He's 99% sure he's going to show up in some way, whether it be a name or a fucking silhouette or whatever in this show. But he's the bad guy for the next Captain America, which hasn't started filming yet.
Right.
So we're setting up a movie that's going to come out in 4 years' time.
Ugh.
This is dumb.
I want some action.
And then all we're getting is C-grade fights between CGI She-Hulk and too much makeup, whatever the fuck that thing is. No, I just want Daredevil and Frogman. That sounds like fun. They teased it when the fucking show was bloody however many episodes ago. I never showed it. I just went, where's the fun? And the reason I say that is because we're also watching Andor, which I love a Star Wars story, the one where they steal the Death, like the one that they were originally in, the Rogue One. I thought that was really well done. That whole thing. It's got a lot of good pacing and good character development without going stupidly crazy. Like, they don't sit there asking who their parents are over and over again. They just sort of say what needs to be said and shit happens. And that's fine. Andor's meant to be more of that. And it's meant to be more of a mature thing and stuff like that. But also, when they were writing it, and in it's obvious when you watch it, when they were writing it, they're like, look at, there's a lot of emotional tension here. We're setting up a lot of story here, blah, blah, blah. We're going to set up this character. We already know the character. We saw him in the movie, guys. We already saw it. We know the character. You don't need to explain this again. No, they need to explain him. But also, someone obviously watched it, like the test screenings and stuff like that, and said, Jesus, not much happens for the first 3 episodes. We should drop all 3 episodes together. And that will be like the first episode. No, dickhead. Cut the 3 episodes down to 1 episode. Fucking hell. And I just sat there going, remember when Star Wars was fun? Remember when they were fucking dogfighting X-Wings?
I missed the Obi-Wan series.
And fucking lightsabering or fucking dumbass droids shooting like thousands of them. You just fucking Obi-Wan and goes plowing through them.
It was very slow. And I can see why they dropped all 3. Because number 1 would not have been enough.
The Kenobi series, they obviously tried to be like mature and like show a bit of emotion and stuff like that. But then they also had to be like, yo, man, kids are watching this and people, it needs to be fun still. So they need to light up their lightsabers every now and then. Even though he's an old man, we'll get his lightsaber out. That makes sense. That's Star Wars. This is like drama. There's so much drama. Oh my God. There's this whole fucking half an episode where it's all about his friend is sleeping with her coworker. And I'm like, okay. Cool. We're just setting this guy up so we don't like him later, and then we'll give her a motive to do it. You don't need to give us the fucking motive, all right? The guy could be a dick while they're getting a drink, and then he didn't like it and called the cops on him, and then you're done. You saved the whole episode there.
Yeah.
It's just so slow and so boring.
Hopefully it speeds up.
And like I can understand it. Like if they were going, if they were like if we were watching this for the first time, there'd be this air of mystery. It's like, wow, what's this guy's motive? What is he going to do? We already know he becomes a thief and steals the Death Star plans.
And it's a spy.
We already know that. Like we don't. No one's watching this going, oh man, I've never heard of this Rogue One movie from nearly 10 years ago. Do you know what was fun about Rogue One? All right, Rogue One came out and everyone watched it and they're like, wow, that's cool. And it's got an amazing sequence at the end where Darth Vader shows up and he goes, basically he walks in and he goes, I'm Darth Vader, bitch. And everyone goes, oh fuck, it's Darth Vader. And he's like, yeah, you forgot the bitch part. And then he goes and makes everyone his bitch. And it's like, holy shit, Darth Vader's a fucking monster. It's amazing. It's the best 10 minutes of cinema out of the entire fucking Star Wars show. Where he just literally gets people in a corridor and they're trapped and he just cuts them up with his lightsaber while they're screaming. It's so good. And it leads right in. The last shot of Rogue One is the start of A New Hope. That's you can connect the 2 movies together.
Right.
So at the start of A New Hope, he's in his ship and he's chasing that other ship.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, at the end of Rogue One, he's in his ship and he just finished murdering a heap of other people on this other ship.
Oh my God. Okay.
So it's really good. But also what people don't realize is Battlefront had a PSVR game built into it. And if you play the PSVR game in Battlefront, it's actually an X-Wing experience in which you play with the droid from Rogue One and you are going to free the female character from her prison ship. And so you got to go and you have an air assault, like a space assault, big shootout and stuff like that. And it's all ties straight into Rogue One. It's really cool. Just a smooth, cool thing. Adds a bit of context. That's it. No worries. I doubt we're going to see anything that cool in this Andor show. It pisses me off because the Andor looks good and like everything about it looks good, but the pacing seems so slow that it's like Snorefest. That's all.
Yeah.
They could have cut those 3 episodes down to 1 episode. They probably could have fleshed out something else. And the fact that it is 3 episodes make me think that the next 3 episodes, not much is going to happen either. So,
no.
Having said that, good news front, obviously, for those Star Wars fans, Mandalorian Season 3 is getting huge props. Like they're saying, this is the shit. This is what you've been waiting for. But then what they're saying on top of that is the Ahsoka TV show is like the peak. Like
the best work ever.
This is... Everything else was just practice. When they get to Ahsoka, that's when you're going to see lightsabers and battles and fucking duels and big characters.
Crazy lore. And
so there's hope. There's light at the end of the tunnel. So what I'm feeling is I'm going to wait until the Lord of the Rings show. You don't care about Lord of the Rings, I know that much. So
no, I don't. Go ahead.
So I'm going to, once that finishes, I'm just going to binge it, which I'm looking forward to because people are raving about it at the moment. Same with the Game of Thrones thing. I think once that finishes, we'll just binge it and get that done. I think if Daredevil doesn't show up in the next She-Hulk episode, I'm done.
Okay, and then I'll watch it by myself.
You know, I don't think it'll make a difference. I think I still will know just as much about the show as you do without watching it. And then Andor, I'll keep watching it because I'm a slut for Star Wars.
Mm-hmm.
But you know what? You guys should just make sure you keep listening to this podcast. And before you run away, and before Shelby plugs her feet, we have one more normal episode of the podcast coming out next week. The following episode is being recorded live from PAX Australia, providing that there's no line that can't get us in. I'm joking. Of course, we'll get in. We'll get in.
You've got a media pass anyway. You'll be
I don't have a media pass. I'm an influencer.
Sorry, you've got an influencer pass. I'll be the one waiting in line, so you get breezing through.
By some miracle, you guys are in PAX or coming to PAX Australia on Friday at the RURUK Lounge, which is near the auditorium. We'll be recording the podcast live from 4 p.m. on the Friday. You're welcome to come swing by. We'll probably have some stickers and some random shit that we can give away to prove that we saw each other in a real space adjacent to grass. So
I'm going to get my business card. I'm really proud of it. I made it myself.
Something like that. And so look forward to that. That's not this next podcast, but the one after, and the Friday at PAX. I'm also streaming from there as well. So this is my self-plugging area. So make sure you follow me, ZombiesLvBacon, on Twitch. And if you're not going to PAX and you're not doing anything on the Friday, I'm probably going to be playing either some Fall Guys or some Fortnite. So if you want to play some games, hit me up. We'll play some games. So I have someone to play. So the people I normally play with will be at PAX. So they won't be.
Yeah, true.
They won't be at the stream with me. So I need some gamers. But yeah. And Shelby, where can people find your feet?
On Twitch and YouTube, you can find me at Shellbunny. On TikTok, you can find me at Shellbunny94. And on Twitter, Shellbunny_.
And you can find the ZLB podcast everywhere as ZLBPodcast. And we are streaming on all major platforms. And please make sure you follow, comment. We got some comments on our last podcast, which was nice to have a, follow up and a few discussion and stuff like that. So leave a comment, leave a question, and we'll answer them for you. But thanks for hanging out, everybody. And we'll see you next week. And the week after that's PAX. So,
see ya.
Bye.
Bye.